Well, how about Kirk Cousins? I have been on this dude for years. I mean, literally years. I don't know how long. I can talk a player up. I've been talking this guy up since the minute he became a starting quarterback in the league in like 2015. Kirk Cousins just did that. Yeah, he did. Let's talk about Monday Night Football, man. Everyone's talking about the Eagles, and I understand why. Because they are the bigger fan base. They're the team that had bigger expectations. They're the team that was in a Super Bowl 2 years ago, and Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, Saquon. They got the big names, and Jason Kelsey doing four media commercials. I've never seen more commercials with Jason Kelsey. He's got the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. He's got the Buffalo Wild Wings. He's got the NFL on ESPN. I mean, he's doing commercials left and right. He's not on the Eagles anymore, though. He's retired, and without Jason Kelsey, the Eagles kind of falling apart a little bit. I want to talk about the Falcons. Give Atlanta some flowers. Kirk Cousins struggled early once again, but really came alive in the second half, and this is what we've seen now with both Rodgers and with Kirk Cousins. Rusty start to the season, maybe because they're coming off ACL surgery, and then they both, in the third and fourth quarter, so it took them about 3 halves of football to get there, but they both, in the second half of week 2, looked so much better than they did in week 1, and we're seeing that improvement. We're starting to see some chemistry with Darnell Mooney. We're starting to see some chemistry with Drake London, who got the last touchdown. The Falcons look good, and we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, but the NFC South, that's a real division all of a sudden, which it hasn't been for the past 2 years. It really hasn't been. It's a lot of veteran quarterbacks. It's funny. All the quarterbacks are on at least their second team. Kirk's on his third team. Dalton's on his fifth team, I believe. Derek Carr on his second team, and Baker on his fourth team. So they're all kind of second chance reclamation projects. Not that Kirk needs reclamation, but it's a second. It's another opportunity. It's a new opportunity for him. And the AFC and the NFC South is real football now. The past 2 seasons, it's been unwatchable. I mean, Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady both kind of skated to a win with Tampa Bay at like 8 wins, and Baker won a playoff game last year. But for the most part, the NFC South has been unwatchable since his second to last season. And if you remember, his second to last season, he blew everybody out. So really, since the first year that Brady got there, which was also the last year that Breeze was there, so it was 2020, it's been unwatchable since 2020. For the past 3 seasons, all of a sudden, the NFC South is a real division. But let's talk about the Eagles very quickly. Look, Saquon's got to catch the ball. Everyone's quick to judge on Nick Sirianni. It's a simple mistake, a very simple mistake. I wouldn't have thrown. I would have ran the ball because if they didn't have any timeouts left. So the decision to throw the ball felt dumb at the time. But along with most other people, I think, at the time I was thinking, even if they don't score here, there's no way the Falcons drive down the length of the field. Because I thought Philadelphia's defense, for the most part, held strong for the most of that game. They fell apart in the end. But I had just seen C.J. Gardner-Johnson make that crazy stop. And, they were celebratory. They were great. They were rolling. They were moving the ball with efficiency down the field. I didn't think the Falcons had it in them to score there. So I thought, even if they did throw the ball, I thought, if the Falcons somehow got a 4th down stop, or if they kicked a field goal or whatever, I still didn't think the Falcons would score. In fact, when the Falcons got the ball down 6, I didn't think they'd score. It wasn't until that second throw to Darnell Mooney once they got into enemy territory, and then I realized, oh, holy smokes, they're gonna do this thing. So I didn't have a huge problem with the play call, although I do think if I was the coach, I would have ran the ball, because again, it goes very simply. The logic is, A, the run game has been working for us all night, and they literally couldn't stop Saquon Barkley. I mean, they could not stop him. B, though, the logic goes, even if we miss it and it's 3rd and 3, so, Saquon's been an easy 4 to 5 yards every time he touches the ball, so he should get the 3rd and 3. Even if he doesn't, though, that takes 45 seconds off the play clock because Atlanta was out of timeouts. Instead, you throw it, you drop the ball, and that saved Atlanta 40 seconds. So that was a mistake. But in the end, the 40 seconds didn't even end up mattering because the Falcons they scored with 40 seconds left on the clock. They gave the Eagles 40 seconds, and then Jalen Hurts throwing that pick, that's inexcusable. Because I thought the Eagles could have a chance to drive into field goal range. When they got the ball with 40 seconds at their 30, it's like you got 40 seconds to go 30 yards. You can do that, right? No, apparently they can't. But yeah, I thought they could pull it off. So there was a lot of missed opportunities for Philadelphia to put that game away, I think. Ultimately, though, I disagree with the play call. But again, the worst thing is that Saquon dropped the pass. And if he catches that ball, the game's over. And we're talking about a 2-0 Eagles team. And we're talking about an 0-2 Falcons team. Talk a little bit more about Kirk, though. A lot of off-season banter. Should Michael Penix Jr. be the starter in Atlanta? Let's put a full stop on the Michael Penix Jr. stuff. Kirk's good. He's back. Only 2 touchdowns so far this year. He's gonna be fine. They play the Chiefs next week. I think they'll probably lose. And when they do, let's not overreact, right? Now, if they had lost to Philadelphia, then they go into that Chiefs game at 0-3. Assuming they lose to the Chiefs, they'd be 0-3. Then it's kind of panic time. Especially if the Saints, and we'll see if the Saints can beat Philadelphia next week. If the Saints beat Philadelphia next week, they are officially a good team. Right now, they're on good team watch. Like, I think they might be a good team, but I haven't decided yet. That's kind of where I'm at with the Saints. If they go out there and they beat Philadelphia, if they score 30 on Philadelphia, then they're a really good team, I think. But if they beat them close, good team. So we're on good team watch with Atlanta, with New Orleans. But if the Falcons had started 0-3, and if the Saints had even if they started 2-1, I think that would be cause for concern. And by the way, who do the Bucs play next week? That's probably worth watching as well. Next week, Tampa Bay plays the Broncos. So Tampa they're very likely going to be 3-0. If Tampa starts 3-0, and if the Saints start 2-1, the Falcons have to at least start 1-2. And they did that. They gave themselves a win. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. After that, the schedule gets better for Atlanta, and I think we'll start to see them win more games. Let's pull up their schedule really quick. After the Chiefs, they play the Saints at home. I think they win that game. Then a Thursday night against Tampa. I think they probably lose that one. Then after that, Carolina they should beat. Seattle I think they should beat. A rematch with Tampa, I think they get the rematch. And Dallas, who I think they'll beat. So I have them winning after losing to the Chiefs. I have them winning 5 of their next 6. Then they lose to Denver. Lose to the Saints, and then potentially a loss to, I don't know. I feel like they'll slip up. They might lose to Denver. They might lose to Dallas too, but I think the Falcons are going to be good. I have them at a 10 win right now. I still think they're the best team in that division. But they had to win that game. That was as close, because if you fall to 0-3, then things start to crumble. Then the Michael Penix talk gets louder. Then everything starts to fall apart. The players start to buy out. Raheem Morris is going to be getting questioned. Kirk's going to be getting questioned. They needed to win that game. They did. Congratulations to them. You can see the 2-point conversion right here after the touchdown pass. That one was broken up. And I thought when they missed that 2-point conversion, I thought that might have lost them the game. Turns out it did not. But either way, great win. Great. It was a thrilling finish. I love games like that. They're close. They're down to the wire. I really, truly didn't know who was going to win until the very last second. So that was a fun game to watch. Really fun game to talk about.